What am I supposed to do?
We just talk about stuff.
Brian should be looking this way if you
Oh,
stop.
I should be looking that
No,
way.
no, don't look at the camera. We just talk.
Don't.
We'll
Okay,
just talk.
let's talk.
So,
Let's talk.
yeah,
Is they snapping pictures of me?
it's rolling now. We're
On the air.
yeah, we're
And what am I
videoing.
supposed to do?
I want to know when was the first time you met Abe?
Abe Zach Utinsky.
Zach Tinsky.
Zach Utinsky. Abraham Zach Utinsky.
Did he have a middle name?
Huh?
Middle name?
No, they were very poor. So were we.
He didn't have a middle name? Did he have, what's his Jewish name? Moshe? No.
No. My father had a middle name. Morris Lewis Weiss. Moshe, like,
What was he like?
listen. Should I wear it off the shoulder?
That's good. That's good. That works.
It wakes off the shoulder.
That works. Well, I mean, don't work it too much.
Right, listen. Abe Zakatinsky and my brother was a magician, not a magician, a musician, and he had a lot of friends, all nice guys. And I was friendly with all the boys, huh?
What was your brother's name?
Sammy Weiss. And my father liked to take a little nip once in a while, but he used to go overboard. He went, you know. So one night, it was kind of cool outside. We were wearing flannel nightgowns, and I had braids down to here. Long blonde braids. Real. And flannel nightgown.
Heidi.
Huh?
Heidi.
Heidi?
Heidi. You know Heidi, the Swiss maid with the braids? Never heard the...
Heidi?
Heidi.
She had...
Never mind.
Right. Oh, well, anyway, my father came home a little and he started to make a little tumult. And my brother Sammy was up on the roof in this apartment house that we lived in with all his friends. And I went into my father and I said, "Pop, will you push him in." And I was screaming. And then all of a sudden my brother came running with this guy. And he says to me, "Why don't you be quiet?" I said, "Who the hell are you?" So I said, "Gus, he's my friend. He's telling you to be quiet. Quiet down. Quiet down. Everything is fine." That was Sammy's friend. So then he used to come to the house often and we became friendly. And I had a few boyfriends. They weren't like boyfriends, there was Dave Zala, Artie Ziviak, Abe Zach.
Huh, all Z's, huh?
And my father said to me, "You're going to marry him because he's going to shovel shit against the waves to make a living for you."
And that was...
That he said that about Gramps?
My grandpa.
Wow. He'll shovel shit
And
against the waves.
And that's what happened. I married him because my father said his whole shit.
How long after you met him did you marry?
I met Abe when I was 16 and a half. I got married when I was 18. And he had a mother. She was a mother-in-law. And my sister-in-law, Ida's mother-in-law, they hated her. I loved her because she used to say nice things to me. So one day she said to me, "You ran away and got married. Why did you have to run away? What did your mother give you? What did they call it? A
dowry?
A what?
A dowry?
A dowry." So I said to my mother, said she didn't have to give me a dowry because I married a truck driver. But if I married a doctor or a lawyer, she would have given me a dowry. I swear to God, I told her that. And my mother didn't have the price of her. Anyway, and it turned out very nice. So my mother was very fond of me. She always said nice things to me. I used to look and say, "Look how dirty my hands are." They had a food store. So I learned to help them for the holidays in the area where, and I said, "Oh, how dirty I am." She says, in Jewish, "Gold schont durch Blätter." Gold shines through mud.
So your hands were shining through.
Nope.
She was just saying her.
How, well, anyway, so I got married at 18 and I lived in Brooklyn and we furnished an apartment.
Where'd you first live in Brooklyn?
Lived in Brownsville. Yeah, I think they call it Brownsville. My mother-in-law bought me 3 rooms of furniture for $900. And that was
a lot of money, huh?
and soon after we got married, my husband got sick.
Really? What was?
Grandpa got sick.
What?
Sciatica.
Oh.
And his friend came up to tell me that they took him to the hospital on my birthday, July 16. And they put him in a plastic cast. At that time, they didn't.
Right.
That was 80 years ago.
Right. Wow.
They put him in a plastic cast from his here up to here.
Wow.
There was no air conditioning.
How long?
And they had fans blowing on him.
How long was he in there?
He was in there while. And then they put him up in the room. He fell off the bed and split the cast and he had to go back again.
Whoa.
And I was 18 years old. And I was running to the hospital. I lived in
And he wasn't a cop then yet?
No.
No.
No. He worked for a brass company, metal bed company. He drove a truck. He worked with his friend, and the friend came up to tell me, Gussie, just don't get excited. Abie's in the hospital, joint diseases. So he took me to the hospital. We lived all the way out in Brooklyn. The hospital was all the way uptown, up in New York. I went there. He was laying in a big plastic cast. And then he went to Mount Clemens.
Did you get
Did
hysterical?
you ever hear about? Yeah, I was always crying.
Were you?
No, I was very brave.
Good.
And then he went to a place called Mount Clemens, Michigan, for the baths that they had there that said takes away any illness. Mind you, I wasn't even 19 years old yet. And in the meantime, I was paid $40 a month rent. While he was going through all this, I moved back to the east side, one building next to where I was born. 96 Sheriff Street, I was born. I moved into 98 Sheriff Street. And all the kids were born on Sheriff Street.
Were there people there that you knew on that
Oh,
street?
yes, yeah, yeah. And so I moved in there, and the toilet was in the hall. So then I went, when he came home from Mount Clemens, I had just enough car fare, and I had enough money to take him in a taxi from the 3rd Avenue L to the house. A taxi. I don't know. And then I had a check for $6, I think, from an electric company that I lived in Brooklyn. And I came with the check to Suffolk Street, where my mother lived, and all the Jewish mafia was there. And they knew me already, you know. They knew me because we all lived together at the same time. And I said, I have to cash this check. It's from the electric company. But I remember so distinctly. Then when I took him home, I went to Grand Central Station to meet the train that came from there. Alone! Alone! Imagine that. When I think of it now, I stood in that Grand Central Station waiting for the train to come in. And when he got off the train, he walked like a
Really?
trooper.
Really? It helped him?
He walked with his coat over here, and he walked like, I couldn't believe it. I took him home, and we walked up the stairs, and he says, Gus, what'd you do? It stinks here. and it didn't stink. It was a big, beautiful building. And I lived there for a little while and became pregnant. My mother-in-law said, not nice, you should live. Oh, then he became a cop. While all this was going on, after he came back from Mount Clemens, he became a cop.
Wow.
He would have never passed that physical if he didn't go. And so he became a cop, and my mother-in-law said to me, it's not nice, you should live here. You have to move. So I went to the Mayflower
Right.
in Brooklyn.
Williamsburg.
That's right. It was a gorgeous building.
Hmm.
And I got three-room apartment on the ground floor, $40 a month.
Wow.
And that's where Sass was born. And we lived ourselves on South 9th Street for a long time. Very well, very well. Everybody knew us there. We had a million friends, you know. And lived there until we moved to Fresh Meadows.